Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys, and happy Friday. How we doing?
Good morning, Alex. How you doing, Alex? How you doing? Hey, Skip.
I would like to congratulate the phony GOAT on winning his fourth ring tonight because it's a done deal. Parade Monday.
What about that forgetful goat?
Yeah.
Oh, forgetful goat.
Oh, I'd like to talk about that. Let's do that right now.
Talk about it too.
Okay.
I really want to talk about it.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Lakers a lot, but let's get started with last night's NFL game and that strange ending. Because down just 1 point last night, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers received the ball with 1:13 to go and no timeouts. The drive would only gain 16 yards before Brady had 2 straight incompletions down the field to tight ends. After turning it over on downs, Brady held up 4 fingers and could be seen talking to officials. After the game, Bruce Arians claimed Brady was aware of the situation, while Brady himself said he should have been thinking of a first down instead of going deep on 4th down. So, Shannon, do you believe that Brady actually lost track of downs?
Absolutely, he lost track of the time. And at some point in time, BA is going to have to stop covering for Tom Brady. Tom Brady forgot that it was 4th down. He pulled a J.R. Smith on national television. Just like J.R. forgot that the score was tied, Tom Brady forgot that it was 4th down. Tom Brady did not play well up until that point, Skip. The problem that Tampa Bay is going to run into, Roe Jones had it going. He was running the ball quite well last night. 17 carries, $106. And what did they do? They're trying to prop Tom Brady up, make him look good. They're throwing. You know that, I know that.
I don't know that. Don't speak for me.
Okay, well, how about
you can speak your foolishness, not mine.
Well, how many big-time throws you had yesterday?
Oh, probably 4. Yeah.
Let's see, big-time throws.
Yeah.
Cameron Brate, 5 for 44 on 6 targets.
Yeah.
Mike Evans, 9 targets, 5 for 41 yards. Gronk had 3 for 52.
Yeah,
the last
2 of those were big time.
A screen. Behind the line of scrimmage. Stop it, Skip Bayless. Oh, I'm glad you said that. Oh, he played well. He was unbelievable. 25 of 41, 253. He had a QBR of 56.
What was Nick Foles?
Game winner.
What was Nick Foles?
He won the game.
Yeah.
That's what he was.
What do I call him? The Magic Man.
Let us think here.
Magic Man did it again. You say he's nothing but a journeyman, overrated journeyman.
Nick Foles played horrible, and Tom Brady couldn't beat him. Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, that's somebody other than Tom Brady. We're eviscerating them this morning for that gap.
He's been eviscerated. What are you talking about? The world is filled with Brady hate, starting with you.
I ain't got him yet. It's my turn.
You already got him. He would be you just eviscerated him. What are you talking about?
I'm going to get him. Should I get him?
Yeah, you can't get him for anything else.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, because he's got 6 rings in 9 tries. LeBron, wait, he's got 3 rings in 9 tries.
You can do all that you want to. What did he get last night? DJ, do we got a couple of tracks? I want to see a couple of
Are you going to go the whole show?
No, I'm not. I just want to show this. I want to show this blooper reel. Because you know, every time we see him. Look at this, Skip. How's this? What is this, Skip?
That's a throwaway when your man's covered on the out route?
Throwaway. What's this? What's this, Skip? What the hell is that?
Well, it's a pass to Gronkowski with Mike Evans running the wrong route.
I know what it is.
Did you see Mike Evans run the wrong route, run right into Gronkowski?
Whoa.
You ever call a route where 2 receivers run together? Help me out, Mr. Hall of Fame.
What is this right here, Skip?
Well, help me out.
No, I'm trying to help you out. What about that right there? What is that?
Well, that's when you think it's 4th down when it's 3rd down.
Hold on.
You know?
You remember last year? When Aaron Rodgers missed the guy that was wide open?
Do I?
Okay, do you see that?
Yep.
That's your guy.
Okay, but
the GOAT.
Okay, the GOAT, again, thought it was 3rd down.
So
right?
he gagged.
Okay.
So he gagged.
I don't know. Is that my turn? Let me go.
Okay.
Let me go.
He gagged. You said he thought
I didn't say he gagged.
Okay.
You said he gagged.
Hold on. It was 4th down.
No, I haven't answered yet.
It was 4th down.
Yep.
He thought it was 3rd. He gagged.
Oh.
Your turn.
Thank you. Finally. First, we need some perspective on what happened last night, which we get none of from across the table, from a Hall of Famer who has no respect for the greatest quarterback who ever played. Zero respect. That should get you disqualified from the Hall of Fame.
That has nothing to do with
that man is going to be the Hall of Famers at some point.
Okay, great.
He will be a zero ballot Hall of Famer because he's the greatest quarterback ever.
Okay.
Tom Brady, in his career, has 59 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter overtime. That is the most in the last 50 years in the NFL since the stat was kept post-merger, NFL-AFL merger. So over the last 50 years, he has more of these kind of game-winning drives than anybody who ever played.
He played
including one just 4 days ago at home against a very good Chargers defense. He did it again right before your very eyes, and it helped him win NFC Offensive Player of the Week. And I'm going to remind everybody, this man not only has 6 rings, he's done it with 6 game-winning drives. That is beyond Michael Jordan. Beyond Michael Jordan.
Night.
That's what's happening.
Talk about last night.
I'm going to. I think it's my turn, and I think you're interrupting me again. So something went awry. Something went really amiss in the last couple of plays because somehow there was confusion going on. But I got to tell you, if there's anybody in the history of football who deserves the benefit of the doubt, it is that man in that circumstance. So let's see. We got a new head coach who's a loosey-goosey, let's just throw it all over the lot and see if we can outscore the opposition kind of a head coach. His team leads the NFL in penalties, and they had 11 more last night for 109 yards. There were blunders all over the field. There was the offensive center headbutting after a play. You'd never see that in New England. And if there's any reason that Tom Brady will ever miss Bill Belichick, it's because he will miss the all-business structure and the discipline that is the Patriot way. I didn't see much of that on display all night, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't operating at the end of the game because somehow I believe Tom Brady got misled into thinking, wait a second, it's still third down?
Are you
wait a second. He has a voice in his ear from Byron Leftwich, who is his new play caller. And by the way, Byron Leftwich has a voice in his ear, which is Bruce Arians, right? And it was Bruce Arians who threw Tom Brady under the bus on game 1 for a route over the middle to Mike Evans, where he said, oh, that was Tom Brady's fault. And then he looked at the film, and the next day he said, no, that's my bad. It was actually Mike Evans who was wrong on that route. And I told you that on Monday, and you said, oh, no. Bruce Arians said this, and I said, no, Bruce is wrong. And then he admitted he was wrong. So don't tell me he overprotects Tom Brady. He threw him under 10 buses after the first game.
You overprotect Tom Brady because you blame the coaches. You blame the coaches for his gap.
Yeah. So somebody misled Tom Brady into thinking, no, I'm starting it. And that's number one theory. And number two, it's also possible that Tom Brady was a little dingy down the stretch because he was getting rocked in the pocket. And if you remember mid-fourth quarter, one play in which Khalil Mack not only sacked Tom Brady, he ragdolled him, he body slammed him, and Tom's head bounced off the turf. And they threw a flag on Khalil Mack that got canceled by offensive holding. Remember that play?
But Skip, why would you throw a flag?
What has Giselle said publicly several times? My husband has suffered a number of concussions. You don't think he could have been concussed down the stretch after? Oh, no. He's Iron Man, right? You say he's the flimsiest quarterback who ever walked, that he's the most overprotected in the pocket of any quarterback ever.
So in other words, you have a problem with the way Khalil Mack, when that just Monday night, you said Patrick Mahomes was not in the grass, so you didn't want him to get protected. That's what you said. They blew the whistle too early on Monday night. That's what Skip Bayless said.
I don't care about that.
Okay, then.
Well, you said that too.
I don't care about Khalil Mack slamming his head to the turf.
Okay, well, I'm saying it's possible he was just a little dizzy, a little lightheaded. It's possible he's having concussion syndrome and symptoms today.
Skip.
It's possible.
Skip. It
happens all the time to everybody. He's 43.
Skip.
But don't give me he's senile.
No, Skip.
He just did it 4 days ago.
He had a mental gap. Just don't blame the coaches. You're looking for someone else to blame other than Tom.
Help me out. Does anybody in the history of this game deserve any benefit of the doubt more than that guy in that situation? Does anybody?
No.
No. Nobody. Nobody.
He made a mistake.
I don't know that it's possible he did, but I'm not going to condemn in public the way everybody else is, because he is usually, he is perfect at this. He's the best who ever has done it.
Skip, it's okay. That's
something was going on. Yeah. Something went awry. Headset issues.
Skip, that's my point. You have convinced people that everybody comes through every single time. Because when LeBron doesn't come through, you say, see, he's not clutch. Tom is okay. Tom made a mistake.
He's been the clutchest performer consistently in any sport ever.
He wasn't last night. You keep going back and talking about all these Super Bowls. We're talking about last night. Those are separate instances.
So now let's look at the bigger picture last night. You told me yesterday, this is a quote from you on this show.
Yes.
The Chicago Bears are terrible, said Shannon Sharpe. They came in. I said, no, they're not. They came in last night with the 4th best scoring defense in all of football. They had allowed the 4th fewest points. And I told you on the show yesterday, that pass rush might be the best in pro football with Khalil Mack and Hicks and Robert Quinn. They come from all angles, all ways, and they were all over Tom Brady through the second. Not in the first half, but in the second half.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
And the back end of that defense is really good because Eddie Jackson is a Pro Bowler and Kyle Fuller is a Pro Bowler, and they were locking people up and locking them down last night. And I told you, Tom Brady came in with both hands tied behind his back because Chris Godwin was graded last year by Pro Football Focus as the best receiver in football. He's still out with a torn hamstring. O.J. Howard is their deep threat tight end. He is gone with an Achilles tear, right?
Yep.
And again, LaShawn McCoy is their best pass receiving back. He was out again last night. I think Fournette, who can also catch it and run with it, was out last night, and they said he was dressed, but he didn't get in the game.
Correct.
Okay, so the point is that early in the game, help me out. Do you even know who these people are? Do you know who Tanner Hudson is? Because I didn't know. Number 88.
Right.
He's an undrafted free agent tight end from Southern Arkansas. He's in the game and targeted 4 times in the first half, and I'm saying, what are you doing? How about little Jaden Mickens? He's their punt returner. He was targeted twice in the first half. How about Tyler Johnson, the 5th-round rookie? He got how many? 6 targets last night? And I'm saying, wow, who are these people that he's throwing to in the first half? It's because they are decimated at receiver and pass-catching back.
Those are the same players that he threw to on Sunday when he won Offensive Player of the Week in NFC.
No, wrong.
That's the same going.
He didn't throw to any of those 3.
So nobody called. So they weren't on the roster.
Well, they were there, but they didn't play on Sunday.
So who did he throw to?
Who did he throw to Sunday?
Yeah.
Well, he threw a bunch to Mike Evans. And guess
Mike Evans there.
Little Scotty Miller that I rave about. How many did he get? How many did he get last night? Help me out. He got no targets, no catches. You know why? Because he didn't practice all week, and they said he's got like 3 things wrong with him, and he couldn't run. Mike Evans could not run last night. That's why he got in the way of Gronkowski on that throw. You said, what's that about? Well, you got 4 defenders in about a 3-foot square area because Mike Evans, it looks like he's covering Gronkowski. He couldn't run through the play.
You tell me your guy carries people. Carry Tampa with these injuries. Carry them.
I told you, Nick Foles is really good.
Nick Foles played terrible in the first half. You saw that.
Nick Foles in his career is 76 touchdowns to 38 interceptions. Is that good? Help me out. And that doesn't count 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions in the playoffs. He has been the magic man, and he was magic down the stretch last night.
This game shouldn't even been close. If Nick Foles plays as good as you said he is, Skip, he had a guy wide open for a touchdown.
That was in the first half. He missed him. Okay, I got it. And I don't know if the guy ran the right route because he's a rookie. Well, they said it on the broadcast. I don't know. Troy said it. I don't know if he ran the right route.
Look at this, Skip.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
Okay.
Skip, the guy...
Did you see the throws he made down the stretch?
Skip, I saw the interception that he made. He had
that wasn't his fault.
That wasn't his fault.
Oh, baloney. Baloney. It hits his receiver right in the hand, and he pops it up. Come on. Stop it. You know football better than that.
I know.
Yeah,
that's why I know the Big Foles.
Stop it. Okay, so now let me count the ways that this was so unfair to Tom Brady.
That's unfair.
They're up 13-0 in the first half.
Yeah.
Do you realize in the last 42 games, obviously these are most of them New England games, in which Tom Brady has a 13 or more point lead, he is 42-0. So this is what's about to happen here. So near the end of the first half, there's a throw to my little man, Keyshawn Vaughn, that I raved about, third-round pick out of my school, Vanderbilt University. And he's bobbling the ball and gets rocked by Kyle Fuller, if we could see this play. And he fumbles. And yet, he never had control of the football. He never had control of the football.
If Tom Brady's paying attention, watch 18. If we go back to the top of it, 18 comes out the backside, he's going to score. If Tom Brady's paying attention, they got it rolled up to this side. Look at 18 at the backside.
Oh,
look at 18 at the backside.
That's a completion, and he couldn't hang on to it. And that is not a fumble. He never controlled the football. The football is bobbling in his hand. You cannot give them. You gave them a short field 27-yard touchdown.
Skip.
It's not fair. It's not right.
Rolled up corner. Why would you even throw that?
Oh, because you can catch it and duck. It happens all the time.
He didn't give him an opportunity to protect himself.
Stop it. He's juggling the football with 2 strides. Never came up clean with the football. You can't do it. Now let's go to the play of the game. Nobody is focused on what happened here. Okay, help me out. What did Bruce Arians do early in the second quarter on 4th and 1 from his own 19-yard line? Ever seen anybody go for that? Because I rarely do.
No.
And I did not like him going for it there. And Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback sneaker in the history of this game, and it's not even close. You want to talk about sticking your head in the pile? Nobody will stick it in the pile like Tom Brady will. So they got that one. But here it is, play of the game. He hits Rob Gronkowski for 16 yards on 3rd and 17 with 4:49 left in the game. This is the throw. That's pretty good. That was his best throw of the night. And it gets him down to 4th and 1.
Right.
Okay? He can't quite fight free and get it, but it's 4th and 1 from the 7-yard line with 4:49 left, and you're down 2.
Right.
You have to go. You have to. I'm like I'm tweeting out of my mind. You have to go for that. Nick Foles has a hot hand. You're at Soldier Field. You got the Bears defense is playing out of its mind. You're having a hard time driving the length of the field. You go for the throat. That's where you put them away. If you go up 23-17 there, you're going to win the game. That's what I believe. Nope, you're going to win the game because you're going to make Nick Foles go the length of the field to beat you.
If you don't mind me asking, Skip, since they got to that 13, what made you think they was going to get a touchdown?
Well, why not?
Because they had gone 7 drives with 8 first downs since they're 13-0.
He had just gone 70 yards, moving them 70 yards, hit Gronk twice.
That's not moving the ball and accumulating yards is not points.
I like his chances. I like his chances a lot.
He had 7 drives after 13-0.
In the red zone, Mike Evans is a killer. He is virtually unstoppable, and they do have great early chemistry in the red zone. I would love my chances on 4th and 1 throwing it to Mike Evans on 4th and 1. And then I would love it throwing to him again on 1st and goal from the 5.
Your guy played terrible.
I'm just still talking here, right? That's a huge play in the game. Now let's get to the worst call in the game because they had 11 penalties, but they didn't deserve number 11.
Yeah, they did.
Because this was Shaq Barrett with 4 minutes to go. It is 3rd and 19, Nick Foles from his 16-yard line. And look what happens here. This is a big incompletion, and Shaq Barrett just hits him. Didn't helmet to
helmet to the jaw.
No.
Helmet to the jaw.
No.
Helmet.
There is no way.
To the jaw.
His head is. Helmets did not touch on this play.
Yep.
You could just see. I see lots of daylight between the two. You're wrong again on that one, and they gave them a first down and let them out of jail. They would have been punting from their goal line on that one, and Brady would have had a short field, and instead you let them get about 20 more yards and punch you back to your 16-yard line.
Let me ask you a question.
It's outrageously wrong.
How many of those calls have Brady got in his career?
I don't know, but that's one where you got. He wasn't getting any calls last night.
Yeah, he didn't need any.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the football game, and then it comes down to Nick Foles, and it's 3rd and 9 from the 49. This is the play of the game, and I'm so disappointed in Todd Bowles because Todd Bowles does not, he's a blitz maniac. Usually he will blitz you crazy. And he wouldn't blitz Nick Foles at all. Look at this. This is 3rd and 9, and you let Anthony Miller so loose on the flank. How easy of a pitch and catch was that? This is 3rd and 9. What are you doing? How could you play that far off Anthony Miller and just give him a lope? He loped to the marker.
Skip,
what are you doing?
Skip, Tampa's corners are not that good. They're not that good.
Boy, I don't know. I think Carlton Davis is really.
I don't think they're not that good.
Okay.
That's why he didn't play. That's why he didn't press.
Okay, that's not being good or not good. That's just strategy. That's just you got to get up in people's face. You got to stop them short of the marker. You can't just let him. Was he challenged before the marker? That's 9 yards.
It's easy to say challenge that if that's not.
Well, I'm saying it because it's easy for me.
You just told me last week that these two guys let let a rookie quarterback go for 53 and 52, and you tell me
72.
Okay, 72. You tell me Nick Foles is the magic man, but now you don't. Now you say they're good.
No,
they didn't press last week.
Their defense is good. Boy, their front seven is really
unbelievable.
Good.
Yes.
And you got to take advantage of it.
And I like Winfield Jr.
You have to go after Nick Foles. I thought on 3rd and 9, I thought he would bring the house on Nick Foles. I really did, because you got to disrupt him.
You see what you did?
He's too good. He's too clever.
This is what I noticed. This is what I noticed you're doing. You're blaming Todd Bowles. You're blaming Bruce Arians. You're blaming Byron Leftwich. Where is the blame for Tom Brady and his horrible play? That's what I want to know.
And by the way, coming into this game, would you believe that Tom Brady's Tampa receivers led the league in drop passes? They led the league through 4 games in drops. It's happening again. It happened in New England last year. It's happening again.
Think about it. So just for a second. Now, okay, he's been in New England, and his receivers now normally rank high in drops. He comes to Tampa. His receivers are ranking high in drops. Now, there's a common denominator in New England and Tampa, and it's not the receivers. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is, when you're playing with the GOAT, your hands start to get a little shaky. I got to catch a GOAT
like
pass.
His last night.
Wow.
He pulled a J.R. Smith
They had
last night.
2 more drops last night. They are leading the league in penalties and drops, and that is driving Tom Brady out of his mind.
Tom Brady does his homework. Tom Brady is very thorough. If you don't mind me asking, Skip, who led the league in penalties last year? Who was dead last year? Your guy didn't do his homework. All your guy looked at was those shiny new objects. He didn't realize what they actually were. So they're last in penalties last year. They're last again.
How many turnovers did Tom have last night? Help me out.
He didn't have any.
Oh, thank you. That's pretty good against that defense.
How many big plays did he have last night? Not any.
Are you still saying that the Chicago Bears are terrible at 4-1? I want to hear you say it again. Say it again. Chicago Bears are terrible. I want to hear it.
I want Pro Football Focus to tell me about the big-time throws. I want Pro Football Focus to tell me what he is under pressure, because they'll list all these stats, because they can't do completion percentage, they can't do yards per attempt, they can't be QBR. We got to find a way to make Tom Brady look good. I'm waiting, Pro Football Focus, for you to give me those big-time throws. I need you to give them to me under pressure.
Help me out. Can you show me a better pass rush than the one he faced in the second half last night? Help me out.
He to go.
Help me out.
Pass rush shouldn't bother
I don't care who you are. Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers was standing back there, he'd be out of the game the way he was in the opener a couple of years ago.
And guess what he did? Against that Barney defense, Aaron Rodgers on a bum knee led him down the field. On a bum knee. Your guy got 8 first downs when he was up 13-0 on 7 drives. That's what your guy did.
Let's see how Aaron Rodgers does against this Chicago Bears team. This Bears team is going to make the playoffs. The one you call terrible is going to be an NFC playoff.
You need to worry about Tampa. Don't worry about Chicago.
I'm holding your feet to the fire.
And I'm holding your feet to the fire where your guy played.
Tough. I said it was going to be tough. I said the final score would be 23-20 Brady. And if Bruce Arians goes for it on 4th and 1 and they score, it's going to be 23 to something.
Everybody, you keep blaming everybody except the guy. But see, this is what I don't understand. When things go well, you talk about Tom Brady has 7 this game-winning drive. You didn't mention nothing about the receivers. You don't mention the offensive line. You don't mention Todd Bowles' defense clamping down. It's all Brady. Brady plays like a bum. The defense. You got to bless him, Todd. You got to make better calls, Bruce Arians. You're in his ear. No. Hold Tom Brady's feet to the fire. He played awful.
He did not play awful. With the decimated receivers against that defense?
Everybody got decimated receivers.
Every quarterback that defense has played this year has played
Devontae Adams is out. Alan Lazard is out. Mercedes Lewis is out. He's not the only one.
And they're playing the worst defense in pro football, Atlanta.
Well, Skip.
And you wanted to be offensive player of the week.
Alan Lazard went out the week before. Devontae Adams ain't played in like 2 or 3 weeks. Skip, I ain't gonna let you do that. I ain't gonna let you do that. Skip, your guy played bad. It's okay. It doesn't mean. See, what you try to do, this is what I'm noticing about you. When he plays bad, you go back to these game-winning drives in the Super Bowl. control. Those are there and cannot be touched.
He just pulled one off 4 days ago.
Okay then.
In fact, he pulled off 2 in the fourth quarter. He should get 2.
What did he do last night?
He was pretty good.
No, stop it.
Well, he was.
Pretty good.
He had him in position to win the game. 4th and 1 at the 7-yard line. Just cash it. It'll be over. You got it.
We don't do the position.
Yep.
Did he get the job done?
Nope, he did not.
That's all I want you to say. And did he?
I want to hear you say, are the Bears going to make or miss the playoffs? I want to hear it. They're terrible, says Shannon Sharpe, the Hall of Famer. I want to hear it on the record.
Let me see.
On the record.
New Orleans,
Seattle,
Green Bay, the Rams. 3 teams. Oh, they might be a wild card.
That's called making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Thank you. Case closed. Next question.
Hold on. You said this team is winning the NFC.
You said they're terrible.
You said Tampa's winning the NFC.
Yeah, and I'm sticking with it.
So a wild card shouldn't be the NFC in a potential NFC champ.
That was a playoff game you witnessed last night.
That's
Yes, it was.
game of the season.
Yeah, as
All right, guys,
Nick Foles said.
No mercy. The Lakers will be wearing their Kobe Bryant Black Mamba jerseys tonight in hopes of closing out the series against the Heat. While most assume it's a matter of time before LeBron gets his 4th ring, Jimmy Butler said he doesn't feel the pressure, and Eric Spoelstra said, quote, "We don't give a bleep what everybody else thinks." So, Shannon, do the Lakers close it out tonight, and does LeBron win MVP?
Well, Jimmy shouldn't feel any pressure, Skip, because there was no expectation of them to win that series. So they should have come in relaxed, as relaxed can possibly be, because outside of maybe the Heat fans and that organization, no one really predicted them to win this series. So there was no pressure on that team. The underdog really rarely has any pressure, which they were a decided underdog. But I do, to answer Alex's question, yes, I believe they finish it off tonight, and I do believe LeBron wins the Finals MVP. I believe with his Game 4 performance, and especially his second half, I think he's nudged ahead. Now, does that mean that AD can't put up a monster performance, Skip? We know he's more than capable. We've seen what he's capable of doing. Not only can he give you a 35-15 type ball game, but he can be lights out on the defensive end, and which would now all of a sudden put him back. And especially, and the reason why it's so close, Skip, is because of the job that he did on Jimmy Butler. He says, I want him. And if you remember, Jimmy Butler got up to that hot start, had 11 points, and then as you mentioned, the last 3 quarters, he had 11 points in total. And Anthony Davis made sure that's all you're going to get tonight. The days of that 40-point historic triple-double, Jimmy, that's not happening on my watch. And so I think there's a chance that if Anthony Davis goes Anthony Davis, and he's more than capable of doing that, sure, he can win Finals MVP. But I believe it's LeBron James' Finals MVP to lose. And I do believe they close it out. They've been down there. I'm sure LeBron probably sent them a message. We've been down here long enough.
Think that was the message?
No, I'm just
Maybe
saying.
You're on the group chat.
No? We've been down here long. No, he probably said, look, LeBron James says when he faces a team that's desperate, they know it's a closeout situation, he's as desperate as they is. He made it abundantly clear, Skip, when he played the Rockets, when he played the Nuggets. He says the reason why I'm normally able to close out, it doesn't always work out, is that I put myself in a situation where I'm just as desperate as they are. I believe he'll send out I don't know what the text will say, but he's probably says, look, we need to be as desperate as they are. They're coming in with nothing to lose. We need to make sure we suppress that surge early and play the type of basketball that I know we're capable of playing. I believe the series ends tonight. I believe LeBron James will have a LeBron James type game, somewhere between 26 and 30 points. He'll have double-digit rebounds. I don't know if he gets the double-digit assists, but you know what? I'm gonna say
Why not?
Skip, I'm gonna say he has a triple-double tonight. I believe the shots that they missed earlier in the game, Skip, that would have given him triple-doubles. You remember he was stuck at 9 for a couple of games. I believe they make those shots. I'm going to say his stat line, I'm going to say 29, 12, and 11.
Really?
Yeah.
Only 29?
29, yeah.
Okay, and what do you figure AD winds up with?
I think AD is going to have something around 33.
More points?
30, I'm going to say 33, 10,
and whatever.
And 2 blocks.
Okay.
3 blocks.
And that will be enough to win MVP for LeBron?
Yeah.
Okay, because really, truly, the only competition left in this series is LeBron versus AD
who
for
wins MVP?
That's all that's left. That's all that anybody really cares about,
right,
including me. And that will be high drama tonight between those two. Your 2 guys, your GOAT, quote unquote, and your baby GOAT, one-on-one for MVP.
So you give Miami no chance tonight?
I give them no chance. What's your score? By what? Just give me a by what?
I'm going to say 12.
By 12?
12. Double digits.
I got your Lakers by 20. I think this will be a cakewalk.
20?
I think it will be a victory parade from start to finish because I think the Miami Heat are as tired of the bubble as the Lakers are. I think they're ready to go home. They made their run. They stole their one game with a magical performance from their leader, Jimmy Butler, who had the greatest triple-double in the history of the finals, a 40-point triple-double without even taking a three-point shot. It was awesome to watch. It was awe-inspiring. And I sat back and said, okay, if you can do that again, I'll give you a shot. The turning point came before that game when Anthony Davis announced to the team, I am taking him. He told Bron, I am taking him. And I don't think LeBron argued because LeBron is a shrewd operator. And I think he believed that could help him win on two fronts, on the scoreboard front and on the MVP front. Because if AD sacrifices his energy all for the defensive end, for the whole game, for 4 quarters, where his whole focus is on controlling Jimmy Butler, which he did, then how is he going to focus on the offensive end? His numbers were obviously down in Game 4.
Right.
Because it's just too much. His numbers were down in Game 3 because he got in foul trouble, okay? Yeah. So the point is that this is perfect for LeBron. It's the perfect strategy because it's a winning strategy on the scoreboard and in the MVP race.
But Skip, when LeBron said the last 5 minutes of the game, I got Jamal Murray. When you see LeBron James takes Jamal Murray late in the second half.
Okay.
Nobody said anything about he was trying to he was sacrificing his offense for defense. He's trying to win the game.
Okay, but the finals MVP wasn't on the line just yet, right? There's no MVP on the line.
I think the most important thing to AD, he realized it. Because who's to say they're not going to be back next year?
Nobody.
Okay.
But the Clippers are going to be back also.
No, they're not.
With a new coach.
They're not going to be whole, though.
Yeah.
Paul George is up out of there.
You think so?
Yeah. They're going to trade him.
They're going to trade him?
Trade him.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that plays out. I don't know that. So the point is, the issue at hand is MVP. Right now, LeBron is averaging 28 a game to AD's 26. But AD has made all 17 of his free throws in this series. That's pretty great. That's obviously 100% from the free throw line. AD has actually made 55% of his three-point attempts. That's 6 out of 11. Not high volume, but still, he's made 6 out of 11. That's pretty great, right?
Yeah.
On plus-minus, Anthony Davis is a plus 24 in this series to LeBron's plus 11. And in the pivotal Game 4 the other night, AD was plus 17 and LeBron was minus 2, okay? And if just for perspective, over the last 2 games, just for everybody's edification, LeBron James has turned it over 14 times in 2 games. Is that good?
No.
No, that's
but you do realize, Skip, in the fourth quarter of the series, and that's 4 games, LeBron has 4 total turnovers in 4 games. Is that good?
That's pretty good for
Yeah,
him. But the point is that in the 4 games of this series, he's 0 for 9 from 3 in the fourth quarters.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 13 of 18 from the field.
Okay. 0 for 9. And by the way, little known fact, if we go back 3 series, if we take the Heat and then the Nuggets and then the Rockets, if we do the fourth quarters of those 3 series combined, LeBron James from the three-point line is 2 for 23. Just for perspective, 2 for 20. Is that good?
Right.
That's, what, 9%?
So
2 for 23.
So are we going to do the fourth quarter? So are we going to talk about the fourth quarter in the Game 5 against Denver? Are we going to talk about the fourth quarter in Game 5 against Houston? Are we going to talk about the fourth quarter in Game 5 against Portland? Are we going to discuss anything, or are we just going to take the negativity? Or what about those dominant performances in the fourth quarter? Because that was a part of that too also, right?
Well, nobody's talking about 2 of 23 in all those fourth quarters.
But in all those fourth quarters, what about what he did? The 38, 16, and 12 against Denver. That performance that he had against Houston in the fourth quarter. That performance that he had against Portland. Those happened. So while you sprinkling all those little numbers in there, give the totality. We do context.
They're not little, they're big.
Okay, do context.
Well, to your point, I believe that, as Kevin Durant calls them, the media fanboys who will be voting on this award tonight, I believe it's a done deal. It's a runaway. LeBron will win the MVP. I think he's already won the MVP, even if he gets outplayed by AD tonight. Even though the strategic move here, the one that changed the series, was AD announcing to the team, I got him. I'll take Jimmy Butler.
But why did AD say Bron, I got him. What did AD say after that? See, you keep using about AD say, I got him. But what did AD also say after that? Why did he say, I want him? Why did he say, Bron, you take him? What did AD say, Skip?
You tell him.
No, I want to hear you say it because it has more meaning.
I don't remember the
you.
quote. It was something about you got so much on your plate or something.
Yeah, we ask you to get in the lane. We ask you to shoot the ball. We ask you to run the offense. We ask you to do facilitate. We ask you to do so much. LeBron has enough on his plate. That's what he said.
So the guy who often plays center for the Los Angeles Lakers said, I'll take the guy who's 6'7", who plays a lot on the perimeter.
And then
I'll take him.
And what did Bron do? Bron said, well, I'll take Bam. And he said, well, I'll take Bam.
He's bigger than Bam.
So in other words, you're taking your point guard and he's guarding your 5-man. That's what my guy did.
That's because he's also 6'9", and he outweighs Bam, and he's stronger than Bam, and probably a little quicker than Bam.
That ain't got nothing to do with it. Just get a man his credit, Skip. And he's still running the offense at an extremely high level. In the fourth quarter, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists.
Well, I want to congratulate you. You were right. You got every break. It was the easiest path to a ring that there's ever been.
Skip, that's not what you said. That's not what you said at first.
Asterisk, no Clippers.
No.
Asterisk, no Clippers.
What are the
That's
Clippers?
all you need to know.
What are the Clippers?
I don't know.
You do know.
Yeah.
Skip, you told me at the beginning of the season, you say if your foe king were to win a ring, this would be his most difficult because he's in the West and the Clippers are coming.
I did not.
Why?
You know what? I failed to predict the pandemic. I failed to predict that he was going to get 5 months off to regroup and revitalize for a playoff run.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
But hold on. How would a guy that's in the pandemic be the most mentally weak superstar that you've seen in your 40 years of covering the basketball?
Yep.
How can he do that when Kawhi is a cyborg, the strongest mentally? He's Jordan. He's the closest thing to Jordan we've seen.
That would be Kobe.
No, that's not what you're saying. Oh, the mid-range Jordan. Ooh, Jordan, he's a mid-range. The most mentally tough guy. Kawhi folded like a house of cards.
Did he? Because he was thinking ahead to what he was going to do to your man.
Skip.
No Kawhi.
Skip. How if I'm in a fight saying, well, if I fight that guy down the street, I'm going to tear his butt up, but I'm getting shellacked in the fight that I'm in. Jamal Murray cooking you. You remember, hold on, Skip, you remember that in the play-in game? The Clippers and who LeBron take off the rip? Kawhi. And then he hit the bucket that would win the game and then D'd up Paul George and Kawhi.
He did.
He did that.
That was not a playoff game. It was not a play-in game.
Whoa. Hold on. So what about Jamal Murray? Was Jamal Murray any good? Jamal Murray was playing as good. Jamal Murray in the playoffs was a top 3 or 4 player. I believe Anthony Davis and Bron win 1-2.
Yep.
But he was the third best player. Him and Yo. And what Bron do?
Congratulations. You won. It's all that matters.
I got something for you, though.
Yeah.
I got a little fries.
I'm sure you got lots.
All right, we have much more Lakers and LeBron MVP talk later in the show, but let's move back to the NFL and Skip's Cowboys, because according to Fox Bet, Cowboys are now only a 7.5-point favorite against the Giants after being as much as a 10-point favorite earlier this week. So, Shannon, who wins this game and what is the score?
Cowboys, a whole lot to a few. 35-10. Cowboys gonna win in a blowout. These are the type of games that when I was playing, Skip, we look at it like, yeah, I'm gonna get healthy this game right here. I'm not injured, but you know my numbers are down. I'm not playing particularly well. Bad team coming in. Yeah, I'm gonna get healthy on y'all. Whatever's ailing me, you just what the doctor ordered. Say take 4 quarters of the Giants and call me Monday morning. Giants score 12 points a game. The Cowboys defense should get healthy.
Get healthy?
Yes.
They're not healthy.
Yeah, they should against this team. Skip, 12 points. Even as bad as the Ravens, Skip, we went 5 games without scoring a touchdown. We averaged 20 points a game for a season. They're averaging 12. You know how bad you got to be to average 12? Especially in today's game? Skip, look. 4 points. They're the second worst offense. 0 touchdowns in the last 2 games since Saquon got hurt. And you expect them to go. I forget that rivalry. It hadn't been a rivalry in such a long, long time, Skip. I mean, you're going to have to go back to maybe Strahan or Eli 2010, 2011 before the last time this game has been a rivalry. Yeah, the Giants have looked, but this is not a rivalry. The Cowboys will win this game going away, and you will have false hope running in here on Monday saying, my team is healed, my team is healed, and a lot of people won't know what to believe. Are the Cowboys really good, or is it because they played the Giants? And then that cloud will be there, but they'll tell you, the Cowboys are not that good. It's just that they're playing a bad team.
Okay. I hope you're right. I fear you're wrong. I told you last week it was all or nothing for me on that one game, a home game against Cleveland, a respectable team. They should have rolled Cleveland.
No, they shouldn't.
Yes, they should have. And they didn't. They trailed 41-14 before Dak does what he does greatest.
Lose?
Come back. He is the comeback kid. There's never been anything like Dak coming back. Unfortunately, deals don't always get closed or often get closed. Okay? I believe that the Giants will win this game.
Man, please.
I am picking the Giants 24-23 because I believe that right now the Giants are a little better than the Cowboys. That's how much faith I have lost in my team and how much faith I believe it's lost in itself. What was the sobering news yesterday? Tyron Smith.
He might be done.
He just might be gone for the year. That means I will have probably for sure against the Giants, 2 starting tackles who are undrafted free agents.
2 turnstiles, you mean?
One of them is a rookie, undrafted out of Texas Tech. The other one's just an undrafted free agent. What? You can't win with that. I know we've got weapons. We might have the best weapons in football.
But Dak can't throw from his back.
He cannot throw from his back. And I also know this. We have given away the football more than anybody through the first 4 games. I saw a stat the other day. If you lose the turnover differential in a game, -2, if you're -2 over the last 10 years, guess what your odds are of winning that game? I'm just talking about -2.
10%.
12, you're close. 12%. That's how bad it is, and that's how bad it's been for this team because they've given it away 9 times in 4 games. It's just too many. You are self-destructing. You are undercutting your own greatness because you give it to them way too many times. So you are now dead last in turnover differential at -7. Your defense does not take away the ball often, and your defense is statistically, in points allowed, the worst in football. It gave up 300. I see 2 different stats for this, 307 or 308. I thought it was 307.
I thought it was 307 too.
Okay, well, whatever. I saw some last night saying 308, but whatever. 307 yards rushing it gave up at home. So
300. Just saying 300, Skip, is just unbelievable.
It's unbelievably wrong.
Right.
It's just wrong. Is the defense decimated? Did I have great hopes for Gerald McCoy from University of Oklahoma, who's going to be the anchor and leader of that defensive line, and he's gone with the Achilles tear? Do I still like Sean Lee? Do I potentially love Leighton Vander Esch? They're out. Awuzie, is he a little better?
But they're talking about Vander Esch might be coming back this week, Skip.
But it's doubtful. It's just.
But that just goes to show you, Skip.
And plus, how long can he last? He seems brittle.
The mere fact that they're even thinking about it.
Okay.
At 5 weeks into the season.
And 2 starting corners, Awuzie and Anthony Brown, are out. So I don't know what to make of it. And the safeties are not very good. And Xavier Woods made a statement about effort. You can't expect us to give effort on all 70 plays a game. Yes, we can.
That's the expectation.
Yes.
It might not happen.
Yes.
Skip, you know what? Fox shouldn't expect me to come to work on time for 240 days out of the year.
No, you can't
I mean, they can't expect me to do that. Now, yeah, that's the expectation.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Things might
that's
arise.
What you're supposed to do.
Right. Something might arise. A kid might get sick. I might have a flat tire. Might be a little late. But, hey, the expectation is get your butt here on time.
And, by the way, I was looking at some lowlights of the game this past Sunday against Cleveland, and Xavier Woods had a long, bad game. He was wrong so many times. He missed so many tackles.
That's why he said that.
That's why he said that. And again, I campaigned for Earl Thomas for weeks and years on this show, and he's still not a Cowboy, and you make the case, which is a good case. He's got so much baggage. He's got so many issues that he faced in Seattle and Baltimore. He's just way better than what I have, and he always wanted to be a Cowboy, and I thought, just give him a shot for minimum wage. That's what he'd come and play for because he always wanted to be in Dallas as a Cowboy. Went to the University of Texas where he was an All-American.
Well, Skip, y'all better not lose this game.
Okay.
Because Jerry Jones will lose his mind, and if y'all lose this game, Jerry Jones will fire somebody.
What did I see the Giants just do to the Rams? They took them right to the wire. They took them right to the wire. It was 10-9 early in the fourth quarter because guess what? The Giants defense, it's 12th in points allowed. 12th in points allowed. I mean, that's pretty good, right? Okay. And it drove the ball down to 2nd and 5 at the 18 to tie the game. Right. And Daniel Jones, who can obviously be more missed than hit, he threw an interception in the end zone. Yeah. But he's got weapons. Because I look at Darius Slayton, I look at the balls caught.
I like him.
Okay. Do you like Evan Ingram? I do.
Evan Ingram has not progressed. I thought he would take the next step.
But does he have talent? Yeah, he's got talent. Yes. Do I love Golden Tate except when he plays Dallas? Yes, I do. Because every time he plays Dallas, he makes 2 or 3 big plays. Right. Sterling Shepard, do I like him coming out of the slot? Yes, I do. I think they have weapons. And guess what they did to the Rams, to Aaron Donald and company? They ran for 136 yards because Wayne Gallman got some and Daniel Jones can run, and they've added Devontae Freeman, and they totaled 136. Do you think they can get 136 rushing against my defense?
They better try.
Guess who will be calling the plays? This guy named Jason Garrett, my old 8-8.
And he spread it on real thick. They got some real good football players over there. They got some real good.
Okay, what do you think's going to happen? You don't think he's going to come in and say, we're going to shorten the game, we're going to bang it up the middle, we're going to take advantage of all the loopholes in that porous run defense?
He's treating this game like the Super Bowl.
You better believe he is. I don't like anything about it because I find it hard to like anything about my team. There's nothing really right. They're 1-3, and as you say, they should be 0-4. Am I right?
If you can't beat a team that averages scoring 12 points a game, and I get it, you know, they held the Rams down, but for the most part, the reason why they're 12th, and they might be better, but their offense is what, 29th in scoring. Yeah, you can be 12th in points allowed, but if you're only 30th, 29th, or 30th in points scored, you're going to lose.
Okay, but I keep telling you, they haven't had anybody since Jimmy Johnson who could crack that whip in the locker room, who could inspire fear, who could threaten to cut somebody since Landry and back to Landry and Jimmy.
Well, Jerry want to be like. Okay. Jerry don't want to be. Jerry don't want to be tough like that. Okay. Jerry want to be everybody's friend.
So this is like a pride week to me. Where what are you made of? What's in your gut? You know, do you have pride in your gut? Yeah. Or have you just mailed it in because you're getting your checks and they're cashed and right?
I can't. Skip. I don't see. I really don't see a scenario in which the Giants can beat the Cowboys on Sunday.
Boy, I do. And again, you say it hasn't been a rivalry. It's still a division game, and you know how they go. They're just weird. They're inexplicable. And listen, those Giants, do you think they circle this game on their schedule?
Oh, yeah.
Would they prefer to beat this team maybe more than any team on their schedule? You better believe
of course you always want to beat your division opponent, especially if you can. That loss somehow comes back and they don't make the playoffs, and you're like, okay, we didn't go anywhere. You didn't go anywhere either.
That is correct.
Offensively, they're just not very good. They're just not consistent enough. And Daniel Jones doesn't do a well enough job of taking care of the football. Skip, the one thing you can't do if it's hard for you to score points is turn it over.
Okay, because my defense doesn't create him. He's going to have to create it for himself. He's going to have to just throw it right to you. And I'm going to hope that Xavier Woods just catches it.
Well, I guess they might have to treat it like a punt because he's going to give them great opportunities for turnovers. It's just a matter of them to come down with the ball.
I hope you're right, because if you beat this team, at least you kind of stay afloat in the East. Philly's got a rough game.
They got a really tough one.
Okay, and I thought they'd lose at San Francisco. It's at Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay. Will they probably lose? Probably.
Well, Washington's going to lose.
Is it like a Pennsylvania rivalry?
Oh, yeah. It's a battle of Pennsylvania.
Okay. Well.
And what does the Steelers do? Rush the quarterback. What do the Eagles don't do? Protect the quarterback.
Okay.
And they take the ball away. Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt, they get after the quarterback, and the Steelers come down with the football.
Okay, so is it possible my Cowboys will be in quote-unquote first place on Monday? I guess it's possible. I just don't love this.
And what, 2 and 3, your teams that be in first place?
No mercy. LeBron James is a win away from his 4th title and potentially 4th Finals MVP as well. While still chasing Michael Jordan's 6 rings, LeBron said that he doesn't think about his legacy and that it will, quote, be told the way it's supposed to be told. So, Shannon, what will this championship do for LeBron's legacy?
Skip, I believe the first one is always the toughest because you've gone so long and you've gone, through great success, great adversity must happen first. And for him to say, about damn time, and you was like, yeah, Bron, it was really about time. Skip, I think this might have even more meaning considering who it is going to come with and where he is in his career. To win a title with the Lakers, I understand Cleveland because Cleveland hadn't had a title, Skip, hadn't won anything in 50-plus years. I get that. But the Cavaliers is not basketball royalty like the Lakers, like the Celtics. That's basketball royalty. And LeBron being considered, you know, Kobe got drafted there. Kareem was there for umpteenth years. Shaq, and LeBron spoke to this yesterday, Skip. He said, look, they don't give a damn. The fans in L.A., they don't give a damn about your resume. Where you came from and how many all-pros and all this. What you did with us.
That is correct.
When you put that purple and gold on, what did you do for us? And LeBron understands that. He says that I can respect that. Skip, I think this would further solidify to be the driving force on 3 different teams to win a title. I mean, and to be where he is, Skip, the social justice issues and what, you know, his I Promise school. There's so many other layers to LeBron James than just basketball. And somehow he's been able to maintain focus, Skip, priority, win basketball games, win championships. Social justice. Make sure people know that Breonna Taylor know the guys, they still hadn't been brought to justice. And the Jacob Blakes and the Ahmaud Arbery and all that other stuff, Skip.
Yep.
While still and make sure my kids get educated. Make sure I got to educate, you know, hey, get out and vote. Because if we want change, we need to get people in there that have our agenda, that wants to see sincere change. And for him to do all of that and still, you know, be like, man, you can only do one thing. You either play sports or you do this. You either politic or you do this. You do social justice or you do... LeBron said, I can do all that. I can put all this on my plate. I can take my time and make sure all my plate is clean. Skip, this will be, for me, do anything for me. He already go for me. That's for me. Go. All this does is that...
You thought he was the GOAT when he was in high school.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be. Skip, even for me. Even with what people expected of him, because they expected great. Isaiah Thomas made a great point. He said the difference between... Doc said this, is that LeBron, we expected greatness. Jordan surprised people with how great he was, Skip, because we didn't see this at UNC. We again, at UNC, you run a system. Dean Smith don't let you deviate from that system.
Okay, but he did hit the last shot, the game-winning shot, as a freshman.
Yes, Skip.
In the NCAA final.
But we didn't see this, what we saw in the NBA. LeBron, Skip, we saw greatness, and he's even exceeded what we thought he was going to be. For me, Skip, fortress is up, can't never be touched.
So winning this ring doesn't really help or hurt your case in your eyes.
He's already he go for me. Okay. Go for me. You can't take what he's done back. So he's just all he's doing. Skip, he can't even edit his movie yet because he's still shooting it. He can't even edit. He can't even send it to the editors. They want to edit this movie. They say, nah, it's going to take you about 3-4 more years. I got more footage to shoot.
Okay. So I'm going to give you one thing from my point of view. The one thing this ring will do for LeBron James, as you suggest, it will make him a made man in Hollywood with Laker Nation. And that is no small task. Do you remember the murals, the early murals where they would put LeBron's face in with Kobe and Shaq and Kareem and Magic, and they defaced it because they said, no, you cannot do that yet. You got to show us something. I think the more astute Laker fans will still sit back and say, well, you got a bunch of breaks. This felt meant to be.
They won't say that.
But in the end, it's a ring. Even though, in my point of view, from this side of the table, this ring should be made of cubic zirconia.
Stop doing that, Skip.
Well, that's what it is.
No,
it's
it's
a
not.
Cubic zirconia ring. It's fraudulent. It was meant to be. He got every break. It was the easiest path to a finals he has ever had by far.
Would you have said that if it was Kawhi?
Kawhi, how?
Yeah, if Kawhi was in this position, would it be cubic zirconia? Would it need an asterisk?
Are you talking about if the Lakers had been upset by the Nuggets first? Is that what you're talking about? If the
Clippers were on the cusp of winning this title, would it be cubic zirconia? Would you say this about Kawhi's title, that it was faux?
I said that about Kawhi's title last year. Do you recall? I said he got every break. He hit the luckiest shot I have ever seen from the corner. It bounced 4 times, twice on this side of the rim and twice on the other side, and fell. I still don't know how it went in, but it did. And it beat Philadelphia in Game 7 of the second round of the playoffs. Right? And then they walled off Giannis, and they took out Milwaukee, and then what happened?
Oh, that was the finals. They beat Philly. He hit the shot in the finals, Game 7 of the finals.
Game 7 of the
finals, Eastern Conference
was it the
finals.
Eastern Conference?
Yes, because remember they beat Milwaukee. They beat Milwaukee in the semifinals. They beat beating Orlando.
They beat Milwaukee
no, they beat Orlando, Milwaukee, Philly.
Whatever. But whatever. He got a huge break with the shot because I thought Embiid and company were just better, except Embiid had upset stomachs and injuries. And then we get all the way to the finals, and you know what happened to Golden State. Just when Kevin Durant looked like he had come back, he's gone.
Right.
And just when I thought Klay Thompson was going to be the MVP of the finals, he blew out his knee. Well, that's meant to be. You got it. Way to go. Congratulations. You did your stopover in Toronto so you could go home to to L.A., and that's it.
But even though Kawhi got the biggest break, you placed him ahead of LeBron as the best player, even though he got the biggest break.
Well, LeBron had a horrible year his first year in L.A. Do you want me to pull out the blooper reel?
No. Don't do that, because I got a blooper reel of my own that I'm going to pull out every time you do.
Okay, good. Well, that's fine. You be my guest.
Yep.
All I know is that Tom Brady is 6-3.
You ain't talking about Tom Skipper. I didn't say it was Tom Brady.
6-3 versus 3-6.
No. It's about to be something else. About to add a.
Okay, so the 4th ring comes against a Miami team that was a 5th seed in the East and that was 75-1 to get to the finals preseason.
Okay.
And what happened right on schedule in Game 1? As the Lakers were going on a 77-32 run in the middle of that game. That's hard to do, 77-32. You could see one team has 2 superstars, the other team doesn't have a superstar.
Right.
And the other team is playing high minutes, 3 rookies, not 1 or 2, 3. And one of them is the youngest to ever play in a finals, right? Tyler Hero. And then right on cue in the first game, Goran Dragic, their leading scorer in the playoffs to that point, is gone for the rest of the finals. And Bam is gone for 2 games of the finals. Well, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to win in 5. You should have won in 4.
No,
but Jimmy Butler had one of the greatest finals games ever played, certainly the greatest triple-double.
Right.
And that's what it took to beat you one time.
Well, Skip, injuries have always been a part of the NBA Finals. You remember Magic and Byron Scott, hamstrings. Isaiah hurts his ankle, and he wasn't able to play Game 7 after that historic Game 6.
I was there.
Those happen. Kareem having the migraine, even though Dr. Way hurt his ankle, and Dr. J and them weren't able to get Magic because Magic had a 42-15 and historic game, ends up winning Finals MVP. Injuries are a part of it because when you play this long, there's a possibility, and that's why you try to finish teams when you possibly can, Skip, because you don't know.
All right. So what happened? The pandemic happened, and your man got 5 months to get completely healthy and revitalized for a playoff run in the bubble where he can go down and just lock in. He's not distracted. He doesn't have Hollywood tugging at his
We don't do that. We let Mav, when the basketball season's on, Mav handles all that. We let Rich Paul handle what he's supposed to. We let Randy handle what he's supposed to handle. We let Shannon handle what he's supposed to handle. So, the Horsemen, we stay locked in on our grind.
You're the 5th horseman. There's no doubt about that. So your man gets to play 35 and 39 Portland in the first round. And obviously Damian's lost after 2 of those games, right? 2 or 3 of those games. And then you're playing Houston, and all of a sudden Daniel House, a key cog in their attack, goes completely south. His bubble bursts when he violates quarantine restrictions, and it just rocks the Rockets, and they're a basket case, and they're gone. And then you avoid the Clippers, who are looking ahead to the Lakers, and don't take the Nuggets seriously.
But here's what I can understand that. If the Clippers had won had they been like Golden State, they had won 3 of the last 4 titles. And so they had accomplished something so we can look ahead. But what the hell had the Clippers accomplished? In the history of the Clippers, what had they done?
Well, they never had Kawhi and Paul George.
And I told you, think about that. They only won what, 2 more games? than what they had. They won 47 games last year with no Kawhi, with no Paul George. And they took 2 games off the healthy Golden State. So you told me, the mentally tough. Everybody said the reason why the Clippers were going to beat the Lakers because they were more mentally tough.
That's correct.
And little did
I
they
didn't
know.
just say that. Everybody said that.
And guess who didn't say that?
And guess who the odds makers picked to win it all before the playoffs started? The Clippers.
And guess who was wrong? Who been right since day one?
And
I told you they were mentally fragile.
And guess who deserves an asterisk beside this ring? LeBron James, because it should say on the ring, the underside of the ring should say no Clippers. Asterisk, no Clippers.
But the Clippers were there.
Huh?
The Clippers were there.
No, they
Skip,
weren't there in the conference final.
You can't get mad. Look, it's qualifying. It's like the Olympics, it's qualifying, the 100-meter final. Skip, you can't get mad if your time in the qualifying doesn't advance you. You can't get mad if you don't advance to the finals because you had that opportunity. It wasn't like the Clippers boycotted. This was not 1980 when the U.S. boycotted the Soviet games, or 84 when the Soviets returned the favor to us in 84. You were there. You didn't qualify. You didn't get to the finals. Now go home, go to Cancun, talk about how good you could have been and how you got a coach fired, a beloved coach, Paul George, Kawhi, Pat Bev. You got him fired.
I'm just embarrassed that we've come down to Game 5. It should have been over in 4. And you're resorting to your sacred Mamba jersey to kill a wounded gnat with a sledgehammer tonight. That's so outrageous. It's so not necessary. It has come to this.
Drop a bowling ball on a fly.
Yeah, that's
what that fly.
It's a wounded fly. It just has one wing.
Cause.
Yep.
Like that fly on VP Pence's head. That fly was doing like this here.
Yeah, I saw it. Yep. So you'll take your ring to a jeweler and he'll say, it's cubic zirconia.
No, they Skip.
I can't appraise this.
I told Brother AD, I said, I want you to make it a 4-finger ring.
Really?
Yeah, get a 4-finger. Have leg, because I always cross it.
I think it's going to be just a faux ring.
Don't do this, Skip. Don't do this.
Faux ring.
Hey,
F-A-U-X faux ring.
Let me tell you a little secret.
Yeah.
Keep this between you and I.
Yeah, right.
We're going to be back next year.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Down just 1 point last night, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers received the ball with 1:13 to go and no timeouts. The drive would only gain 16 yards before Brady had 2 straight incompletions down the field to tight ends. After turning it over on downs, Brady held up 4 fingers and could be seen talking to the officials. After the game, Bruce Arians claimed Brady was aware of the situation, while Brady himself said he should have been thinking of first down instead of going deep on 4th down. Now, we're joined by Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick. Michael, do you believe that Brady lost track of downs?
Yeah, I think he lost track of the downs. Brady made it evident by putting up 4 fingers. And even, when he threw the last incomplete pass, I got up and walked into the kitchen. I turned around and seen him holding up 4 fingers, and I sat back down because I thought they had another down left. So he got me too. But when a quarterback is in a position, one of the most vulnerable positions is being in a 2-minute drill at the end of the game with no timeouts. You get flustered, it's anxiety. You're thinking about getting the first down, chunk plays and trying to move the chains as fast as you can, getting to the line of scrimmage, watching the play clock, clocking the ball. There's so many things that go through your head. I can understand how Tom got caught up in this moment. And, he'd been flustered and knocked around all day. So it was just a accumulation of things that happened and I think led to this moment. And it certainly was because Tom wasn't comfortable throughout the course of this game. He was at times, but this moment right here, in the biggest moment, I think Tom just, he let this moment get away from him. And it's one he'll probably regret for a long time. And hopefully it don't come back to haunt this team at the end of the season. But it just goes to show it can happen to anyone, and it happened to the GOAT last night.
What happened by Tom and the Bucs not being able to pull this off, had they pulled this off, I would have come out here and eviscerated Matt Nagy, because Matt Nagy must be out of his mind. Skip, he threw a pass. You make them burn that timeout. You run the ball again, and then you make the clock tick down to 40 seconds. You kick the field goal, you kick off, and you make Tom Brady go with no timeouts. What really hurt him, I think it was Villa, Skip. He got injured, and they had to burn a timeout. And so that really hurt him, and that's what I'm surprised of. Because normally, Mike, you know this, like when we start the 2-minute drill, we got to get something easy because we want to get something to build on. We don't automatically start going for the jugular until it gets desperate late in the clock. So I thought they would get something. They got something to ran the screen, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, to Gronk. So they got something easy. And then I was like, okay. And then I'm like, Brady, why are you throwing the ball so far down the field? You don't really need that. Just go ahead. If they're going to give you the underneath stuff, take that. And I think sometimes quarterbacks get caught up. I need big chunk plays. I need big chunk plays. Take the easy stuff if they're going to give you that. I'm surprised that he lost track of the time because I'm looking at him like, that's incomplete. That's incomplete. That's incomplete. And I'm like, when he threw the ball down the field, I'm like, Brady, why would you? And Gronk was not even close to catch it. I mean, that was Brady. I think that was Brady, Skip, that the DB jetted the ball and went up under.
On the
fourth down. So I was surprised he lost track. He lost track of the time. And Mike, I don't know if you noticed this, but Skip came out here this morning and he blamed Todd Bowles, he blamed Bruce Arians, he blamed Byron Leftwich, he blamed the offensive line, he blamed everybody, and even the reporters asked him, did you lose track of the time? He said, well, what I should have done instead of going for a chunk play, I should have just, got the yardage. I want to know, Brady, why did you hold up 4 fingers? That's all I want to know. Tell me why you held up 4 fingers. Because you lost track of time.
Okay, let me ask both of you guys who played this game at the highest levels. Who is the least likely quarterback in the history of pro football to lose track of downs in the 2-minute drill? Least likely of all.
Yeah.
That guy you were watching last night. That guy has 59 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter overtime in his career. That's the most in the last 50 years since the NFL merged with the AFL. The most by Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. He just had his 59th 4 days ago against a good Chargers defense in Tampa, a performance that helped him win Offensive Player of the Week, NFC. 6 times he's won Super Bowl rings with 6 game-winning drives. That is even beyond Michael Jordan to me, and I'm the biggest Jordan fan on the planet. So if anybody deserves any benefit of any doubt, it is that guy you were watching, number 12, last night, live on national TV, appear to lose track of the downs.
He don't appear. He lost it.
Something was amiss. I told you, you need to look a little deeper here. And I also told you to open the show, he looked out of it. In his post-game interview, he looked out of it. His wife has talked numerous times publicly about how she has wanted him to retire 3, 4, 5 years ago because he's had too many concussions. Michael Vick knows about concussions. Michael Vick knows what happens when, if we could see the play fairly early in the second half, Tom Brady was getting rocked, and he got ragdolled and body slammed by Khalil Mack, and it was a flag.
That was the other one. It wasn't that one. It was the other one. It came shortly after that one, though.
Okay, it did come after that one. This is not...
This is Khalil Mack. Hip tossing on 325.
Is this the one?
No.
No.
I don't think they got it.
Okay. The point is, we know the play, and they threw a flag on it because it was unnecessary, and yet there was offensive holding, which canceled the flags. Okay? So, to me, Brady, even at the end of the game, he looked dazed and confused. He looked dingy. He looked concussed. If you watch carefully his postgame, he was having a little bit of trouble remembering what happened. He was having trouble stringing his sentences together. I could be wrong, but I will bet you today you hear about he's in concussion protocol. And maybe you'll say, well, they're covering for him. And maybe you'll be right about that. But this is the one guy I'm not going to condemn for that. Michael, take it away. You've been through concussions before. Is there any chance he was just a little dingy?
If he was dinged and concussed, then that gives him a pass for sure. And I will say this, every professional quarterback is entitled to make a mistake here and there. It's not always going to be pretty or picture perfect, but I have to recollect to Tom Brady's greatest moments. And I know he will reflect back on these moments in any given situation like yesterday. His first Super Bowl, he went down the field and checked the ball down the entire time. He didn't even take a chunk or go down the field, to Shannon's credit of what he said. And I still believe that Tom Brady, in certain situations or most situations, in most cases with the Buccaneers, is trying to show this team why he's the greatest of all time, why he has multiple Super Bowls, and why he is, one of the best to ever line up. So that plays a factor as well into everything that he's trying to do as far as being a success for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So it's a plethora of things. It's a lot of things that come into play right now. And if Tom was dinged up, then we'll give him a pass. If not, then he has to take this.
No, we don't do that, Mike. We don't do that here.
Yeah,
I mean, some other shows
we
might
do it over on this side.
No, we don't do that because great players don't get breaks. LeBron James has never gotten a break. They never gave Peyton Manning the breaks. I'm noticing what Tom Brady showed me last night is that he's human. Skip Bayless would have you to believe that the man's not human, that he's incapable of making a mistake. Even the greatest make mistakes. And that's what happened. Thomas, Edward, Patrick, all three of them forgot what down it was. Thomas couldn't tell Patrick. Patrick couldn't tell Edward that it was fourth down, and if you're incomplete ball, they're getting it. And I don't know if you noticed this, Mike Vick, but did you see Tom Brady leave the field? They were getting ready to he walked out the field before the clock ended.
Wait, are you taking him to task for that? No, I'm serious. Are you?
No.
So why are you bringing it up?
Because I just want to make sure, because everybody was killing LeBron James for leaving the court early.
Wait a second. It's called a pandemic, and you're not supposed to go, fraternize and hug each other? Okay, well, did you see what Patrick Mahomes apologized for doing?
Dak did the same thing.
Okay.
And,
Stephon Gilmore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes hugged Stephon Gilmore. And it's hard to break that, Skip, because that's the human element of us.
Okay,
that's
well, you can't condemn Brady for running off the field. You're supposed to run off the field.
No, I'm not saying, no. You run off the field once it says 0-0. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Isn't that what you said LeBron was supposed to do? Wait till the clock run down and then run off the field. It was 19, 20 seconds on the clock and he running.
Oh, okay.
He running. I got no problem with that. No, I don't want you to make excuses because when he won the Offensive Player of the Week, you didn't mention Todd Bowles. You didn't mention the offensive line. You didn't mention any of those receivers.
I did mention Todd Bowles. I said they gave up a 53-yard touchdown and 72
you mentioned
to a rookie quarterback.
You mentioned him in a negative light. Now, all of a sudden, Tom Brady pulled a J.R. Smith. He out there like J.R. on that Henny in game one of the finals. He got a four finger talking about, what going on out here? I'm not going to let you do that, Skip Bayless. I'm not going to let you shift that blame to anybody else. Tom Brady is human. He made a mistake. Let's end it at that.
The disropect you have for the greatest quarterback ever. Go ahead, Michael. I'm sorry.
I mean, very uncharacteristic for Tom. And hopefully he'll bounce back from this, but
Green Bay
I did not expect that type of ending to that game, and to make it worse, Tom just he bolted out of there. So he got to bounce back from this one. He
bounced back next week.
So let me ask you this: were his receivers decimated last night? Yep, they were.
You see that, Mike? You hear that, Mike?
Wait. Do his receivers through 4 games have they led the league in drop passes? They have. They're number 1 in drop passes. Is that an excuse? That's a valid excuse.
No.
I would say they dropped 2 more last night.
He had a chance to win it. So on that last drive, so Skip, exactly, Mike. So whatever transpired up until the final drive does not matter. How many of those balls that he threw on the last drive were drops? You see, Skip Bayless, we got to stop doing this. We got to stop making excuses for Tom Brady because you don't mention anything about those receivers and how decimated they are. Aaron Rodgers is playing without Devontae. He's playing without Alan Lazard. He's playing without Mercedes Lewis. When Aaron Rodgers was going through this, Tom Brady, go. No, I need that energy.
All I know is the last time that Brady lost to Nick Foles, Bill Belichick was allowing Nick Foles to score 41 points in a Super Bowl while Tom Brady was throwing for an all-time playoff record 505 yards.
I'm glad you brought that
505.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you a question, Mike. Mike, let me okay. He lost to Nick Foles in the Super Bowl with New England. He lost to Nick Foles in a game against Chicago. Now, the only common denominator is not New England, it's not Chicago. So what is it?
505, is that good? All-time playoff record, is that good?
If you run that last playback that was just shown on the screen,
He got a guy wide open on the shallow cross.
His first Super Bowl win was right there in front of him. It was the back, right in his face. He could have checked it down.
Check through the line.
Back checking out to the left.
Bam.
That back gets the first down.
And he going to get out of bounds.
Closer to the first down.
And he going to get out of bounds.
Closer to field goal range. So it's no excuse.
No.
It's no excuse.
Unless you're concussed.
No, we don't do that, Skip.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't do that.
Has LeBron ever been concussed?
Whoa.
No, he's not been concussed.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correct. So you believe last night Tom Brady is the only quarterback that's ever been concussed and finished a game?
No, what's your point?
No, I was concussed.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Michael Vick's been concussed a number of times.
Yes.
I was concussed in 2005, a game against the Browns, and I nearly lined up behind the left guard. So it can happen. Strange things can happen. And I know I was concussed, but I just the bravado in me. I wanted to finish the game.
There you go.
So it just in a crucial moment like that, you still got to make a good decision.
He can be the GOAT.
You out the game or you in the game. You got to get out. You got to get out.
Hey,
you got
Mike,
to let somebody come in and finish.
Mike, I know this is before your time, but, Tom Brady is the GOAT. But like Michelle and Diego Uccello said, he wasn't last night. He might be the GOAT. He wasn't the GOAT last night. And if Nick Foles had played decent in the first half, they'd have been up 28-13.
That's ridiculous.
It just looked like a struggle for the Bucs all across the board. They got to get better up front.
They got to get healthy.
Aaron Rodgers coming to town.
Yeah, I hope so.
Aaron Rodgers coming to town.
Can't wait.
Aaron Rodgers coming to town.
10 days to get rid of
the real deal.
No mercy.
The Cowboys have lost their last 2 games, and their only win of the season came on an improbable comeback against the Falcons. They currently trail the Eagles in the NFC East, but the only difference is the Eagles' tie against the Bengals. Now, Michael Vick is still with us. Michael, do you expect Dallas to bounce back and win the NFC East?
I expect Dallas to bounce back and win this weekend. East. I can't say right now because my Eagles are going to definitely make a push. If the Eagles get Alshon Jeffries and Deshaun back healthy, then they're just as good as the Dallas Cowboys, and they might be a little better than the Dallas Cowboys now because defensively they still have Darius Slay and they still have Fletcher Cox, 2 guys who can change the dynamic of the game, any game. Offensively for the Dallas Cowboys, they still got all their firepower, and Dak is playing some of his best football. But on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be a struggle every week, I think, until somebody steps up and say, I'm tired of going through what we've been through. We can get better. I'm going to be the guy who takes the onus and makes, this defense better in some way, shape, or form. Until that happens, I can't see Dallas winning the NFC East. I see Carson Wentz stepping up and playing a lot better. I see the Philadelphia Eagles riding the wave that they've been on. Since last week and maybe pulling out a couple games. But, in terms of the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of things are going to happen right, going to have to happen right for this team in order for them to win the NFC East convincingly. And I think it's going to start with beating the Philadelphia Eagles, which is their only competition in the division. A bunch of things has to happen. I think the Dallas Cowboys got to take it 1 week at a time as well as everybody else in the NFC East, and just see where the chips fall.
I agree with you. I just think the Eagles, Skip, if the Eagles can just get a few guys back, Alshon, D-Jack, Jalen Reagor, those are your top receivers, and they're out. And now Peters is injured. Lane Johnson went out. Skip, remember, Peters was supposed to play guard for Barrett Brooks. Barrett Brooks get hurt. So now he's out. So now you're shuffling your offensive line. And when you do that, I think Dougie P needs to do a better job. I understand you want to run scat protection, which is 5 guys into the route. But when your offensive line is beat up and your quarterback is starting to hear footsteps, you cannot. Sometimes you're going to have to leave your tight end in. If you look at last night, they left Gronk in a lot so he can block, so they can protect, because Wentz is turning the ball over, which is putting your defense, because make somebody drive the length of the field on your defense. Don't give them short fields. And the Cowboys, I agree with you, Mike, on this also. The Cowboys should beat the Giants. The Giants aren't very good. They are players away from being good. And so this is a game when I play, I'm about to get healthy. I don't know what my numbers are going into the game, but I can assure you they'll be a lot better when I leave the game. If you're a defensive player, I'm going to get healthy on the Giants. I ain't got no interceptions, I'm going to get me one. I ain't got no forced fumble, I'm going to get me one. Oh, I ain't had a double-digit tackle game, I'm about to get me one of them. As an offensive player, I'm going to continue on the pace. Cowboys' offense is fine. They just got to stop turning the football over, because if you turn it over and your defense can't give it back to you, you're harming yourself. But, Skip, the Eagles are going to be right here at the end, because the Eagles have something the Cowboys don't have right now. They have fight. Your guys won't fight on defense. The Eagles will fight you. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Malik Jackson, Darius Slay, those guys will fight. Your guys lay down.
True. I told you I have lost all faith in my team, just as I believe it's lost most of its faith in itself. I am with both of you. The Eagles right now, even without Alshon, without Deshaun, they're just better. They're better because of what Michael Vick just said. Darius Slay he just might be the best corner in football. Fletcher Cox is a monster. He changes the game. You can just watch him on TV and you just see what happens. Things start happening. He disrupts.
And Brandon Graham against your two undrafted guys.
I just lost Tyron Smith probably for the year, all-pro left tackle.
Yep.
I got two undrafted free agents playing both tackles.
You do?
For the foreseeable future.
Yep.
I'm not even sure Lyle Collins will be able to come back, and he was my best lineman last year.
Didn't they put him on?
Yeah, but I'm not sure about his condition. They're questioning how hurt he might be for the future.
Right.
So what do I have to love? Well, as Michael said, if Dak gets desperately behind, he's unbelievable. He's great. When he's hopelessly behind, he is all-time great. Does he close deals? He hadn't been closing a whole lot lately. My team should be 0-4. The defense is simply the worst defense in the history of this franchise back to its expansion year in 1960. I can just show you the stats. They're the worst defense in all of football. And they're also beat all to hell. They've lost too many of their stalwarts, and they didn't go out and get Earl Thomas, as I pounded on this table for them to, just to have one made man in the secondary. Somebody the opponents feared. There's nobody anybody fears. And in the end, here comes a division rival in the Giants, who I think might be a little better than Dallas right now. And you laugh at that, and I say, show me. Because my offense, as explosive as it can be, it leads the league in giveaways. Okay, so what's to like? They're -7 in turnover differential, which is the bottom of the barrel. Yeah. It's the worst of 32 teams. So it gives the ball away. It doesn't take the ball away. It just gave up 307 yards rushing at home. And meanwhile, the Giants against the Rams quietly last week had 136 yards rushing. And the Giants, by the way, on defense are pretty good. The Giants right now, I promise you, are better than the Dallas Cowboys on defense. And I don't know if you noticed this, but that James Bradbury that they signed as a free agent, Pro Football Focus did its quarter poll all-pro team.
Yeah, he's top 5.
He made first-team all-pro at cornerback. Well, don't tell me they don't have some talent, and don't tell me these receivers, Darius Slayton and Golden Tate and Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard, don't tell me they're not pretty good, because they are. The quarterback's shaky, but he's athletic and he can have his moments. And he had the Rams on the ropes. They got it all the way down to the 9-yard line, throwing into the end zone to tie the game last week against the Rams, and he threw an interception. Okay, well, they're probably feeling pretty good about themselves coming out of that game, because they held Jared Goff down to 240 total yards, that offense. And it's been hot. And they ran for 136. Well, but silly me, I think the Giants are going to win this game or steal this game, because I don't think my team's very good.
Skip, if the Giants win this game, it's going to be hell in Dallas. You know Jerry Jones.
Well, is it going to be hell?
Jerry Jones going to fire somebody.
Well, he better. He should have fired somebody last week, and he didn't.
Well, he going to cut somebody there.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago, and Skip just said it. I think a guy like Earl Thomas would have been the perfect addition, and Earl might have came with some baggage, but
he does.
I think that could have been cleaned up, and he's a guy that's going to make the defense better. a lot better. I mean, they need anything that they can get right now, and he would have been the perfect guy to just step in and probably came in with a different mindset in terms of, you know, his leadership. And sometimes you learn from your mistakes and the things that you've done in the past. And I think Earl Thomas could have made this defense better, and it's not too late.
How
just
bad?
Can't wait too late in the season before you make a decision like
How
that.
bad must it be, Skip? My house, my boat is sinking, and someone comes to rescue, could possibly rescue me, and I say, no, I'm gonna go on down with it. That's what Jerry's saying. That's what the Cowboys are saying with Earl Thomas. As bad as we are defensively, given what our reporting and our investigations have done into you, we're gonna leave it alone.
It's also coaches' pride because they love those two young safeties because they're good kids, you know.
Coaches don't normally love players that much. Yeah. Coaches love winning more than anything. And if you not helping me win,
Especially
you costing me. Exactly.
Oh, I got it, but I'd still take him.
I mean,
you take anybody right now.
I would take anybody.
No mercy.
Sunday on Fox, catch Carson Wentz and the Eagles take on Big Ben, Juju, and the Steelers, or other regional action. Check your local listings for the game in your area or watch on the Fox Sports app. Now, it's been 20 years since Michael Jordan to the Max was released in theaters following the final season of MJ with the Bulls. Now it will return to IMAX theaters, being re-released today. So, Shannon, what do you make of the timing of this release?
Really, Skip? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I didn't say a word.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And whomever released this and whomever gave them the green light to release this ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Because?
Because you know what's happening tonight. You can do all the releasing you want to, but all they're going to do is show old footage. We're still shooting our movie. You can go see a movie that's already been shot, edited, or you can watch live a movie.
You're talking about Space Jam 2?
No, don't do that, Skip. Don't do that, Skip. You can get an opportunity to be on the set and watch this movie that's going to be released. And you get an opportunity to say, Skip, you know, when they shot Glory back in the late 80s in Savannah, Georgia, Michael Broderick and Denzel, I saw it. Could have been an extra. No, I saw that.
You could have been an extra?
I could have been an extra.
Well, why weren't you?
No. That was my time, you know, acting wasn't my gig. I thought about it, but, you know, they wouldn't let me have no big part.
If you'd been an extra in that movie, you probably would have gotten shot, right?
Yeah, exactly. Skip, this is ridiculous. Skip, come on now. You can't stop progress. Progress must progress. And is it that convenient, Skip, on the night that LeBron could potentially clinch his fourth ring, could be possibly a four-time a Finals MVP, that this is a movie that was released 20 years ago is getting re-released. Really, Skip?
Really?
I can't believe you. And you okay with this?
Oh, I love it.
Don't worry about it. Ain't nobody going to see it. With the pandemic, ain't nobody going to sit in no movie theater to see a movie that they've already done saw.
Well, speaking of the pandemic, they really already saw this movie because it was called The Last Dance documentary, and it aired right on time when we had no sports, and every Sunday night we all waited for the next installment of The Last Dance.
I was busy. Which
became The Last Dance for your GOAT argument for your man, LeBron James.
No.
I believe that as Michael Jordan nears 60 years of age, recently he's had a couple of awakenings. I need to accomplish two things with a documentary and Jordan to the max, MJ to the max. Number one, he needed to sort of make up for all of the racial and social justice that he avoided being a driving force for all those many years as a player and even all those many years post-career.
Correct.
When he just hung out on the golf course for the most part and occasionally looked over his basketball team. Not very well, I must add. And so it stained his reputation because as a GM, I've said it from the start, you can make a case he's been the worst GM in the history of this league. As a player personnel developer in Charlotte, he has not been very good.
No.
We get that. So he needed to accomplish that, and he needed also to obviously try to silence the billions of new blind witnesses out there who are trying to make the laughable case that your man LeBron James is actually better than Michael Jordan was. And I think he got a stomach full of that, a belly full of it, to the point he said, that's enough.
Yeah.
I need to remind everyone just what I did, exactly what I did. So he even signed off on some unknown, sort of unedited footage from practices back in 1998 that displayed the cold-blooded assassin that was Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the baddest man on the planet then, and I think that ever was.
Yeah, but we got a new bad man now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he was
It's his
the
time.
baddest man.
It's his time.
Well, as Mike Malone said, who was an assistant for LeBron for 5 years in Cleveland, he said LeBron didn't have the killer mentality that Jordan did.
Can you ask, why didn't they ask him that after Game 5?
Well, he probably said the same thing because he believes the same thing, because that wasn't about the Nuggets
Yes,
versus
it was.
LeBron. This is about Jordan. You've set the bar as high as you say he's better than Jordan.
Yeah.
And Mike Malone says, well, I was an assistant for 5 years. I saw him up close and personal.
Yeah.
I saw him fold against Orlando. I saw him fold against Boston.
Skip. You keep saying he folded. He averaged 38, 8, and 8 over 6 games. That's not folding.
Boy, he folded against Boston because his owner accused him of quitting.
27, 19, and 10, what he had in Game 6. He averaged
Someone
28.
from his inner circle leaked that he had to be sedated before games 4, 5, and 6 against Boston in 2010.
Yeah, like somebody leaked us. He had the flu or he had food poisoning. Somebody that leaked it. Okay, then, Skip, we're not going to do this. But you know what he's trying to do. He's trying to stunt our progress. But we full steam ahead.
Are you?
We marching on.
The Last Dance was your last dance.
No, it ain't.
In your GOAT argument. You know it, and I know
20
it.
years from now, when we release our documentary, when and how I became the GOAT, we'll have 20, 30, 40 million views.
So the release of Jordan to the Max is all about LeBron winning his cubic zirconium fourth ring. It is. It's right on time. It's perfectly positioned to say, wait a second, remember me? Yes, we do remember you. We got it.
Yeah, Skip, we remember. Our mind is okay. We're not like somebody else who forgot that it was 4th down last night. Our mind is perfectly fine. But we also are capable of understanding there's a new guy in town. There's a new sheriff, Skip.
And it's okay to be the 5th or 6th best sheriff.
Don't do that.
In the history of the game.
No, Skip, stop. See, there you go. Now you're going to talk about the 5th. We number 1. Which, Skip, and I keep telling you this, Skip, we're not done. There's nothing else Michael Jordan can do to add to his legacy in basketball. There's nothing. He can't get another ring. He can't get another MVP, another Defensive Player of the Year, another scoring title.
Except he can unbrainwash the billions of blind witnesses who actually believe LeBron's better than Jordan. And they would say that, a lot of the kids would say that, and they don't even know what they're talking about until they watched The Last Dance, and they were like, uh-oh.
Hey, Skip, just imagine, Skip,
it's over.
Just imagine when we take 40 hours of footage and we only put LeBron great plays like they did in The Last Dance. Huh? They should have put those when he got swept by the Celtics twice. When he got beat by the Milwaukee Bucks, and all they had was Sidney Moncrief and Junior Bridgman and Big Bob Lanier. Why didn't they put that in there? Or when he had a 2-1 lead on the Bad Boy Pistons and they walked him down 4 straight.
So when we see
3 straight.
When we see the LeBron documentary, will it lead with his meltdown against Orlando, then against Boston, then against Dallas in the finals?
No, we edited all that out like y'all did.
Meltdown at the end of Game 6 against my Spurs, and then, wait a second, getting blown off the court by my Spurs in 2014 by a record finals margin? Will that be all in the documentary?
Yeah, because I was waiting to see when Nick Anderson stole the ball from Jordan and dunked it and sent him home, sent him packing. Was that in there? Do you remember that, Skip?
When he came back from playing baseball, because he got forced out for 2 years?
I don't know where he came from. I don't know where. Maybe he came from Mars. Maybe he was in Cancun. All I know, he was on the court, and they beat the brakes off it.
So how can you make a case that a guy 3-6 in the finals is better than a guy who owned the finals at 6-0 with 6 MVPs?
Hey, We're not, look, I'm not going to let you use different criteria because if we're doing it about titles, it's Bill Russell and nobody else should have a conversation. Okay. But if you're doing it about totality, see, that's what you do. When you say it's just about rings, because how does somebody got 6 rings? 6 is more than 3. I say, well, 11 is more than 6. But it's about other things.
Wait, how about 10 scoring titles to 1 for LeBron?
Skip.
How do you defend that? You can't.
Because LeBron James...
Jordan to the max.
If LeBron James wanted to win scoring titles, he would. Because that's what you told me about Jordan averaging more rebounds, more assists. Well, he didn't want to do that. Well, LeBron didn't want to score. He wanted to do all things.
How do you explain that a guy won the scoring title and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year? That's GOAT.
And got beat. And did he get to the finals? He didn't even get to, not only did he not get to the NBA finals, he didn't get to the Eastern Conference final.
Wow.
Or did he? I think the bad boy Pistons beat him 4-1.
I think I'm going to go to IMAX tonight.
No, okay, go ahead. As scared as you is, as scared, you and Ernestine hadn't even been out the house
we haven't
in
been
5 months.
We haven't been out to eat.
I know you haven't. In 5 months, y'all driving around the city. I see you driving around. Don't think I don't see you. Driving around the city, but you ain't going in no place. So I already know you're not going. Ernestine ain't going to go into the movie. And she love the movie. She not going.
We're gonna sit 20 feet apart and watch my man Michael dominate.
Yeah, it ain't about you and her sitting apart. It's about everybody else in the theater not sitting apart.
The thing is that every generation, especially the younger generation, now knows how great Michael Jordan is after watching The Last Dance, but this just feels petty.
Yeah.
This feels petty.
Yeah.
Releasing
Petty
it.
LaBelle.
He wants a spotlight back from LeBron. I get it, though, but that's Jordan's thing. So, like, it kind of makes sense, too.
Teddy Pendergrass.
Right? He needs the spotlight.
He ought to be ashamed of himself, Skip.
Yeah,
if LeBron had done this, this should be beneath LeBron. This should be beneath it.
No mercy.
Tom Brady started last night hot with a touchdown pass to Mike Evans in the first quarter. But after that, it was all field goals for Tampa. Brady finished the game going 25 of 41 for 253 yards and 1 touchdown. Brady also turned it over on downs on the potential game-winning drive at the end of the game. So, Shannon, give Brady a letter grade for this performance.
You know what it is, Skip. You already know what he's getting. He failed the class. I'm sorry. It started out, he was very promising in the first quarter. First quarter was very promising, but it didn't end well for him. F! He gets an F.
I'm shocked.
He did not play well, Skip. By all metrics, Tom Brady did not play well. And I'm trying to figure where are those big throws. He had 6 big-time throws. He had more throws in that game than he had all last year in New England. I saw none of those. Nick Foles played really, really bad. And Tom Brady still couldn't beat him. The Bucs went up 13-0. Now, Skip Bayless told me it's over. Tom Brady, when going up by at least 13 points in a ball game, was 42-0. Is that good? 42-0 is good? That's 42-0. Floyd Mayweather, 50-0. Rocky Marciano was 49. So 42-0, that's really good. In the next, he had 7 drives after going up 7-0. 8 of them, he only got 8 first downs. In only one of those drives, he had at least more than 1 first down. And you think he should get what? Tom Brady had, and he had the biggest blunder, what would be the biggest blunder of the year. This is more egregious than the Falcons not jumping on their own side. Because Tom Brady is a historically transcendent player. It is his job to know the downs. It is his job. It's just like me, Skip. If it's 4th and 10 and I run a 7-yard route, and I'm like, and I jump up, no, there ain't no first down, bruh. You got to know the down and distance. You got to know how far you need to go to get the first down. Well, Tom Brady needs to know that it was 4th down and he didn't. Tom Brady failed last night. They lost. He had no big-time throws. He had no clutch throws, and he forgot what down it was. And you made the excuse that his coaches sabotaged him. I can't believe you. That's 2 times you've done that.
No, I told you, I'm pretty sure he got concussed. So, it is now my turn to provide a little objectivity on this show as opposed to the straight Brady hate that emanates from across the table. Just spit it all over the table here, right?
Facts.
I'm going to give Tom Brady a B last night because the degree of difficulty was extreme. And the Hall of Famer across from me yesterday said the Chicago Bears are terrible. I said, no, they are not terrible.
Offensively,
they have the 4th best scoring defense. They've allowed the 4th fewest points in pro football. I believe after last night, from what I saw, because Tampa Bay's offensive line has been very good so far this year, that's the best pass rush Tom Brady will see all year, and it was obviously on the road, even though there were
Green
no
Bay
fans.
coming.
You think Green Bay can rush the passer like those guys?
Darius and Preston coming.
Oh, come on. Stop it.
And we got A-Rod.
Yeah. Are they better than Khalil Mack? No.
You know Khalil Mack, that was like his first sack.
Okay, well, are they better? Those guys better?
No, they're not better. Not that individual. No.
Hicks, Robert Quinn, whew, they were coming, and they started getting to Brady and roughing him up and knocking him down in the second half. I thought he hung in very well. Let's look at degree of difficulty, shall we? In the first half, Tom Brady is forced relegated to throw to, you ever heard of Tanner Hudson? You'd never heard of him before, old number 88. Undrafted free agent out of Southern Arkansas, and he threw him 4 balls in the first half. How about little Jaden Mickens, who is their punt returner? He threw him 2 balls last night. How about my little man, Keyshawn Vaughn, 3rd-round draft pick out of Vanderbilt University? Do you realize he was playing his 2nd game with Tom Brady, and he's throwing him 3 balls last night?
You didn't say that when he caught that touchdown against Chargers.
And how about Tyler Johnson, their 5th-round pick out of Minnesota that nobody liked, even though Pro Football Focus loved him, but he's playing in his 2nd game where he's actually getting snaps with the Bucs, and he got 6 targets last night. Why? Because there's no Chris Godwin, his Pro Bowl receiver that he was just lighting it up with. In the first 2 games, he has gone with what sounds like a torn hamstring. Mike Evans shouldn't have been playing last night. He didn't practice all week. He was limping. He limped in and out of the game last night. He couldn't run his deep routes because he's just limpy on a really bad ankle. And what happened to my man, little Scotty Miller, last night? Well, he didn't practice because they said he's got 3 different injuries. And I don't know what happened. It looked like the Bears were doubling him nearly every time because they said, you cannot have little Scotty deep behind us like you have.
You notice, Skip, the receivers that play with Brady get broken up? You notice that?
No, I don't.
Scotty Miller broken up right now. Mike Evans broken up. Julian Edelman was broken up.
Julian Edelman led the league in drop passes last year. And guess who leads the league in drop passes this year? The Buccaneers receivers.
So what is that?
They dropped 2 more last night.
So what is that? So who was the quarterback in New England when they led the league in drops? And who's the quarterback in Tampa?
That was last year and this year.
Okay, so who's the quarterback?
It's playing with the GOAT where you get a little shaky-fingered because the GOAT's throwing you passes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Skip, you keep talking about he throwing the ball to these running backs. Tom Brady has always thrown the ball to the running back. That's what he does. That's why this isn't BA's offense. I keep telling you, this offense is morphed into Tom Brady. That's why he's dinking and dunking. Ticking and tacking, what we call it. Ticky-tacky Tom.
Is Eddie Jackson a top 5 safety in this league? You better believe he is.
He the GOAT.
Is Kyle Fuller a top 5 corner in this league? You better believe he is.
GOAT.
So you're up against a team that Shannon Sharpe wrote off as terrible when I think the defense is top 5, and it might be top 3 before the end of the year.
I want to know which one of those guys did you name is the GOAT of their position? Is Kyle Fuller the GOAT of his position?
What does that matter?
Because Tom Brady, you told me, is the GOAT and should overcome all of that. That's what you do with LeBron.
Well, you told me he's not the GOAT.
Oh, no. I'm using yours. Like you tell me, I'm using your words. You said Tom Brady's the GOAT, and now you talking about Kyle Fuller like he Deion Sanders. Okay. You talking about Eddie Jackson like he Ed Reed.
No, but they're really good.
They're not Ed Reed at the time.
No, they're not.
Okay, then.
Okay, but if you don't protect Tom Brady at age 43 and he is just getting rocked, and he got sacked by Khalil Mack, if we could see this play, because he got ragdolled and he got body slammed, and I believe he got concussed on this play.
Let me see what it looks like.
Look out, look out, look out. Boom. Flag thrown about. He threw that flag about 30 feet in the air.
You see how Tom Brady stood up over him? If I'm Khalil Mack, don't worry about it. I'm going to get you again. I'm going to get you again, Tom. No, you ain't going to do that. You're not going to do that, Tom Brady, to me. I get you. I get you again. I'm going to dump you
right there, late 3rd quarter, I think he got dinged. I think he got concussed. I think they should have looked at him. I think they should have checked him out. But he's stuck in the game because you know and I know he's the ultimate gamer. Yeah. And he kept fighting against a really tough defense with no protection. And he kept getting rocked. He got hit 4 or 5 more times after that one.
You told me after what you saw on Monday, you thought they blew the whistle too quick.
Yeah.
So Khalil Mack says, I'm going to make sure I wrap your butt up and take your butt down so there'll be no doubt.
And the flag flew, but it got canceled because there was an offensive hold.
And if I'm Khalil Mack, if I see you again, I'm going to dump you on your neck.
And Tom Brady,
what you're not going to do is stand up over me like that.
Tom Brady suffered from 11 penalties for 109 yards. Did that ever happen under Bill Belichick? Most penalized team in pro football already, once again, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who is BA, as you call him, Bruce Arians? He is Mr. Loosey-goosey. Let's throw it all over the lot, have some fun, and go play golf, right?
Well, Tom Brady wanted a new situation. Now, he had somebody that maybe wasn't as fancy, but they cooked good, nice home-cooked meals, had make sure everything was good to go.
Yep.
But he wanted someone that was a little fancy, a little cuter. So that's what you got.
Structure, discipline.
Yeah, you didn't want that anymore. You wanted loosey-goosey. You wanted to, ooh, she look good over there. Now look at you. Now look how you're looking.
How many times did his New England center headbutt somebody after the play and get a 15-yard penalty? How about never?
Yeah, all that you took for granted.
So
you better
look what he overcame and almost won the game anyway.
Think about it.
B. He gets a B.
Really, Skip?
Yep.
You're going to get a man a B.
Yep.
After those, after
I am.
He did not remember it was 4th down.
I'm not sure he could remember the plays at that point.
He threw horrible, 3 straight terrible passes.
Yep.
And you gave him a B.
Yes, sir. And you gave him an F.
F for failure.
No mercy.
LeBron James is a perfect 3-0 in NBA Finals closeout games. Tonight, he'll be looking to make it 4-0 and would be the only player to ever do so in final closeout games. So, Shannon, how impressive is this?
It's very impressive. The hardest thing to do, Skip, is close out a team, especially because that team is desperate. They know there is no tomorrow if they lose this game. So they come out with a sense of desperation, a sense of urgency. And LeBron James has said, I've always tried to be as desperate as my opponent in this situation. Skip, he's 16-1 in closeout series since returning from Cleveland. 16-1. But in the finals, now this is what he was when he had an opportunity to close out OKC. 26, 11, and 13. In that Game 7 against San Antonio, 37, 12, and 4. In Golden State, Game 7, 27, 11, and 11 with the greatest block in NBA history. Not just finals, in NBA history. The chase down. That's what he is. Might as well go ahead and make it a perfect 4-0. I said Tom Brady, hold on. That's what Tom was doing that for. He was telling LeBron, make it 4-0 and close out games in the finals.
My turn. This is the most misleading stat in the history of final stats.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I want to remind everybody, right now as we speak, LeBron James is 3-6 in the finals. That means that 6 times he didn't have a closeout game one way or the other because he was getting drubbed. 6 times he lost. So let's look at what happened the 3 times that he did win a closeout game. Because he is. Well, boy, you give him a closeout game.
Give it to him, it's over.
It is over.
Good night.
Who was the unsung hero of his first closeout game, which was Game 5 against the Thunder in 2012? Mike Miller came off the bench and made 7 of 8 threes. Think about that, 7 threes. And in that game, LeBron had the 4th best plus-minus on his own team. So don't tell me that he was the star of stars.
26, 11, and 13 is another star.
It was all about Mike Miller because every time he shot it, it ripped from 25 feet, 30 feet, and you'd say, Mike Miller did it again and again and again and again and again? That was too much for the baby Thunder at that point, and it was the Mike Miller Memorial Game. That's what I will always remember. Then what happened, dare I bring it back up and rip my guts out again, at the end of Game 6?
No, we're talking about Game 7 closeout. We're doing closeouts.
We're doing, this is the closeout.
Okay,
Game 6 in 2013 against my Spurs. What happened down the stretch of that game? 40 seconds left. Kawhi steals it from LeBron. Big turnover. I'm like, LeBron, what are you doing?
And then what did Kawhi do?
Then, wait a second. 28 seconds left. Manu steals it from LeBron again. A second turnover in the final minute of the game. And then with the game on the line, LeBron says, I got this. I'll shoot another 3 to tie it. LeBrick Long rebound out, if we could see that one more time, and kick to Ray Allen in the corner, and he made the greatest clutch shot ever to save LeBron's legacy. That's how close he came to losing or blowing a closeout game 6.
Skip, it can't be a closeout game, Skip, if you're behind. That's not a closeout game. You're supposed to do game 7 of the NBA Finals against San Antonio when he had 37, 12, and 4.
I'm doing game 6.
But that's not a closeout game.
All right. So then we go to game 7 of 2015. 16.
Yeah.
And what happens in this game? LeBron goes 9 of 24 from the floor. Is that good? That's not that good. 9 of 24. He goes 1 of 5 from 3. That's typical. That's predictable, right? And he has the fourth best plus minus on his team.
So now plus minus is his gold standard.
I'm just saying he had the 4th best plus minus because, man, look at Kevin Love and Kyrie. They're up at plus 19, plus 10. JR's plus 7. LeBron's down at plus 4. So you're going to say he was the star of stars? He dominated.
So if you don't mind me asking, in that series, can you tell the people at home, because I'm sure they don't have the stats in front of them, who led both teams in points, rebound, assists, steals, and blocks?
I'll answer that if you'll answer who hit the shot of shots to win the game, because it was Kyrie Irving, not LeBron James.
But you do realize LeBron went on a mini 6-0 run by himself, right?
Oh.
LeBron did that.
Yeah.
And LeBron, who had the block, heard around the world.
That was a J.R. Smith assist.
That was LeBron James.
J.R. Smith cut him off at the pass. He got in front of Iggy, and Iggy was going to dunk it at the last second. Iggy said, I guess I got to lay it up. He cut me off.
And look at this.
He got
LeBron says, Iggy, if you try to go up and under, I'm going left.
Look at this. It's
right? Just in case. Just in case.
It's the bicycle built
just
for
the case.
two.
And you remember he got Jimmy Butler the other night. Jimmy Butler tried to go up and under. He pinned that one.
I don't care about that one.
We're about to be 4-0 in closeout, Skip. You gonna care. You will care on Monday.
You want the ultimate closeout game? It was game 6 of the 1998 finals at Utah. I was there courtside, front row, and I got to watch my man, Michael Jordan, steal the ball from Karl Malone, dribble the length of the court.
Bicycle built for 2.
On Brian Russell and just say, I got this. Scotty's over there on the wing saying, I'm open. No, you're not open. I got this. And he held the pose.
In closeout games, is anybody better?
It's a walk-off.
In closeout games, is there anybody better? Yes or no? That's what Alex, the question was. You keep going back to 98, 94, 92, 87, 72, 3-0.
I keep going back to 3-6 in the finals.
Closeout games.
How can you take any credit for this? It's so misleading.
It ain't misleading.
It's absurd that you would say this is even a stat.
What's absurd is for you to say Mike Miller had more to do with the winning when LeBron had 26, 11, and 13 in a Game 5 closeout against OKC. And for you to talk about something that happened in Game 6 when LeBron went 37, 12, and 4 in Game 7. And then you were talking about he was 9, his plus minus. He had the 4th best plus minus, 27, 11, 11, and led everybody that touched the court in every statistical category. That's the first time it's been done.
Do you realize, you keep talking about these Game 7s, do you realize Michael Jordan won 6 rings with no Game 7? They never even got to a game. That's how great he was.
Yeah.
That's how transcendent. That's how dominating. That's how he owned basketball for all those years. He never even had to play a Game 7.
I wish he'd have got Magic when he was younger, but he got an old Magic. But you still want
31. He was ancient.
Skip.
31.
That was his 9th finals in 12 years. 31. And what happens? We saw what happened with KD, who had just went to 3. We saw what happened to Clay, who just went to 3, who went to 5. Fell apart.
Oh, come on.
Fell apart.
Freak accident.
Fell apart. Magic Johnson pulled his hamstring.
All right,
Freak
can't we all just appreciate some greatness?
He won't.
I'm gonna sit back and just enjoy the LeBron show tonight.
No mercy.
The Lakers are 1 win away from another championship tonight in Game 5 against the Heat. Before we go, Shannon, I gotta ask you, what's LeBron's line, what's AD's line, and what is the final score?
Skip, I believe LeBron, if I had any guts, I would say LeBron would get 15 assists and average a triple-double through the playoff for the entirety of the finals, but I don't believe he'll get that many. I'm going to say he has 29 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. I'm going to go AD's going to have 33, 9 with 4 blocks, and they're going to win, I'm going to say 114-98.
Wait, you saying AD's going to be the MVP then?
Whatever. If
Whatever?
If that happens,
Not a whatever.
If that happens, it happens. The question was, what's going to be the stat line and what's going to be the final score?
Well, the real MVP will be the Heat because they're going to be most valuable patsies tonight. They're going to get rolled over like a victory parade. It will be 125-105 Lakers, and I got LeBron just going off because AD's going to be playing defense, LeBron all offense, 38, 12, and 14. AD will have a little old 22 and 12 and maybe 3 blocks. I'll give you 3 blocks.
Well, Shannon used to be a Heat fan. No, I was never a Heat fan. I was wherever he at fan. That's the Heat you're talking about. Wherever he at. I follow him.
Really?
I follow the ring man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Guess what we going to have on Monday, Skip?
Cubic zirconia.
A ring.
That's what?
A ring.
Yep.
A ring.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I like both your takes. I'm already doing the happy dance. That's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back Monday at 9:30 Eastern.